We are here in New York City, just outside the Neil Simon Theater for the first Broadway preview of the Cher Show. There are a lot of really cool people here already I'm seeing lining up. Nia Bardalos from My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
We love that show.
Yeah, love it. The guy from Star Trek. There's so many people. It's an exciting night. And I'm excited for the people who've never been on Broadway that are going to be making their Broadway debut tonight.
What about Stephanie J. Block?
Stephanie J. Block is the reason that I am here tonight. She has got powerhouse vocals, and I'm sure her singing Cher's songs will just be amazing. You know, I loved her in 9 to 5, Get Out and Stay Out. I mean, I've seen her in Wicked.
She's barely in Rise.
Yeah, I kind of have a little girl crush on her, not gonna lie.
I mean, we kind of know what to expect, but at the same time, we really don't know what to expect. So this is not necessarily a typical show for us. Definitely branching out and trying something new. Going in kind of blank.
Yeah, let's go in and see.
Pretty excited.
I grew up listening to some of the songs. I honestly don't know them all. So it'll be fun to kind of see the whole range of Cher's career.
Right, I think there's a lot of the story that we think that we know, but I think we'll learn the rest of the story tonight. Kind of check this out. So we're here on 51st Street, right across from the Mean Girls Theater, to go check out Cher. Let's head in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey guys, we are here. We're back in the basement, back from our trip of swinging through the East Coast and seeing some shows. We made it. We're going to kick things off with our recap of the Cher Show. The first thing I want to do is just talk about our initial takeaways from this show. I think the biggest thing for me was the show really kind of just showcased her life and gave us insight into who she is and who she was, and kind of made her a little bit more human or a little bit more approachable to me.
Yeah, that's one thing I loved, was she's kind of this like icon, and you don't really think that she was just a little girl who started a dream by going to the movie theater and seeing Cinderella. Like, I loved that.
Right. I mean, that's something that, you know, everyone can relate to in one way or another, and that's awesome. I didn't know that she was in as many movies as she was, and I had no idea that she had won an Oscar, which is just really cool.
She's a very talented woman, and being able to see all the different facets of her life in this show really opened my eyes.
I think the last little bit for me was that it just showed how hard she worked. No matter what she did, whether she was, you know, doing music or doing TV or doing film or her family, she always worked really, really hard. People don't really talk about how people become a star or the hours they put in. They just kind of see the end result. And so I gained a lot of respect for her in that circumstance.
The other thing I liked is while doing all of that, I had a really good time. Like, I wanted to get up in my seat and dance a lot. So kudos. So, what was the first thing you liked about the show?
Definitely. My first and number one was the storytelling. The mechanism that they used to tell the story in this show was really unique. They have 3 different people who play Cher, and it kind of represents 3 different parts of her life and 3 different ages as well. You get a chance to peek into her mind, and you get insights from the beginning of her career, from the middle of her career, and some things that she's learned later on in life as well. And they kind of converse. I think that works a lot like the way our minds are set up, and we remember lessons we learned from when we were younger that help us. And so I think it really helped me kind of gain insight into her mind and into her life, and I really liked that mechanism.
Definitely. You know, for me, my first thing, there was a couple actors who really stood out to me. Number one, Stephanie J. Block. She played like at the point of Cher's career where she is a megastar. And there was honestly some times in the show that I couldn't tell if it was Cher on stage or if it was Stephanie J. Block.
Definitely.
Her voice was amazing.
There were multiple times where I was like, okay, because we went opening night. I was like, okay, they're going to bait and switch, and they're going to put Stephanie J. Block on the stage and then trade her with actual Cher. And we're not going to be able to tell because she nailed it. And it wasn't just her voice, it was her mannerisms, the way that she moved, the way that she, you know, flipped her hair. I mean, everything. Stephanie J. Block just nailed this.
Like you said, from the way that she sang, like the modulation in her voice that people kind of joke about with Cher. we all know Just Jack from Will and Grace, you know. She wasn't that over the top, but she was great. The other person I wanted to mention was Jaron Spector as Sonny. I thought he sounded just like him, and it's not just an imitation. Like, he actually became Sonny, and I felt like I was part of that story and part of that relationship. And so I really think the casting with those 2 characters was spot on.
Definitely. I think that brings me to my number 2. My number 2 was the stage, and the set was really unique. It felt like 60s or 70s TV show would. There were these rotating panels that were 2 banks on either side of the stage, and they moved them kind of throughout like this in this set. And they would rotate the panels to either turn it into a door to let somebody walk through, or to turn it into a different set or a different place. And I just thought that was really unique. And so I think they nailed it with that. I think it helped transport us to that time, but also gave us this awesome set.
Okay, so my number 2, Cher is known for her elaborate costumes, and they totally replicated that on stage. It was sparkles and diamonds and everything everywhere, and it was so fun to see all the different costumes that they would come out. I wish I would have taken a tally of how many costume changes there were, because there were so many different colors coming out, and with the 3 different Chers, I can't imagine how busy that costume designer had to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We haven't seen a lot of shows that are going to be in the running for 2019 Tonys, but it wouldn't shock me at all to see this one of the front runners for Tony when it comes to costume design. Okay,
so what was your opportunity?
I think my biggest opportunity with this show was, I talked about that mechanism of the 3 Chers earlier and kind of the way that they told the story. I think it was really great, and it kind of helped me get insight into their mind. That being said, there were times where they switched Chers at really strange times, in my opinion. It was just strange because it was chronological, and then they would switch back at weird times. I mean, they're all Cher, and they all represent her, but I got a little bit lost in that, and I think they lost some of the power of that storytelling process when they switched randomly. I think the biggest thing is they just needed time to get themselves in and out of those elaborate costumes, tape everything in its place, and get out on the stage. So, I mean, who knows if that's what it was, but that's kind of how it felt.
So my opportunity, as with any jukebox musical, there's a lot of songs, and they're trying to basically do the whole show based on songs that this one artist did. For me, I didn't really know a lot of Cher songs. I knew, some of the huge hits.
Yeah.
There was a few songs that they put in, I think, just to cram into the story, and I don't think the songs quite fit that story. I think for huge Cher fans who know every song, they're gonna love all of the music and how they mix the music into the story. But kind of like Mamma Mia, in the sense of all of a sudden they're doing a song, an ABBA song that has nothing to do with the story, but we need to do another Cher song, so let's shove it in. So I do think that's just a weakness of any jukebox musical, and I definitely felt that in this show.
And, I mean, who knew? Cher has done a lot of amazing things in her life, but this might top it. I mean, she sings this song about turning back time, right? And we happen to go right on the edge of daylight savings time, and she legit turned back time.
She did it.
Just saying, I don't know how many shows can say that they turned back time on opening night, but we had such a fun time seeing these new shows. The first up, Beetlejuice, now Cher.
Whoa!
Whoa! And we're also going to cover King Kong, as well as a brand newcomer, Prom. So look for those videos. They're going to drop in the next couple of days. We've got those coming for you. We've also got the opportunity, we're headed to the Eccles to see the Come From Away tour, which is going to be awesome.
I love that show.
We didn't get a chance to cover Come From Away when we've been to it back east, and so it's awesome that we'll get a chance to cover it with it coming to the Eccles. So watch that. Stay tuned for that. Follow along on our Instagram. If you haven't subscribed already, get to it, and definitely drop us a like if you liked this video. Whoa!